All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's version of the Coach Shawn Witten Show here on WBEJ. I'm Stacy Street, along with my partner Tony Briggs and Coach Shawn Witten, the head coach of your Elizabethton Cyclones. Coach Witten, tonight let's talk about first the big win last week. Finally got to be in Citizens Bank Stadium with a team that's tied at the top of the rankings, along with Elizabethton and Greenville when Northview Academy came in. Let's review the game a little bit, if you would.
Just a really good football team we played in Northview. New coach, it's got a new system, and give those guys credit. They played extremely tough and extremely hard. A lot of times our guys need to understand it's a four-quarter game. Sometimes we try to win the game in the first quarter. Not really be patient, but really got off to a great start. Forced a 3 and out. Offensively, went right down the field and scored. Really tried to push the ball down the field on our second possession. I thought Northview did a really good job of trying to run the football. They made our defense have to play lateral a little bit, and they did a great job with their tight ends and backs. And I thought they had a really good athletic quarterback that escaped and got some easy first downs.
Well, and Tony and I talked about it a lot. That 44 kind of took you to where the play was going to go. Even knowing that was a big kid. He was a good kid. The quarterback knew to get behind him and go. So you really, in the first half, in the first quarter especially, that game was sideline to sideline when they were on offense.
I'm not sure if they were like a step faster than we were, or we were kind of step slow at times. Our reaction was a little bit off, but they did a really good job of they were making our defensive line chase, trying to get the ball out in space, and then a couple times they got some easy first downs on the quarterback moving the ball around a little bit with his feet. But I thought it was a really good football team. It was a great challenge we needed. You go into halftime and you're up 14-7. You've got to make a few adjustments. Come out and play. So I thought it really made us have to really come back and execute offensively, try to make some plays, make some throws, get our ground game going. And we just a little bit of too many mistakes early. Just missing some holes, missing some blocks here and there. Not perfect on our execution at times, and it allowed them to kind of stay in the game.
And missed a few tackles too there. Missed a few tackles.
Yeah, they made us play lateral. Then they try to come right at us to get some short yardage down in distance there. But I thought the running back 26 was extremely fast. They did a good job against us. And then quarterback was a difference maker, making some plays with his feet. Obviously that's a game changer in high school that we worked a lot of times. Just not keeping our eye discipline at the linebacker level. So it's really good there. But really tough challenge for us. It was a really great game. They really had two really good defensive ends. And so just not as crisp as they'd like to be coming out, in our first home game. But our guys got rolling in the second half.
And as you got rolling, and we've talked about it some this week, and this whole season, as they make some mistakes, but the team doesn't seem to get too rattled. And so you've got Slagle, who continues to play well, does a good job staying in the pocket. He doesn't tuck it and run. He'll stay in there and find those receivers. And then I thought that when Holzer did a good job of kind of loosening them up, and then Zeth really came in and laid the hammer.
I thought that our guys really all year long, it's not, the execution has not really been is where it needs to be, but our guys have really been resilient. We're playing hard. We're finding a way to step up and make some plays. Drive on the second touchdown just kind of went up and got it. Luke on a touchdown just kind of went up and got it. We talk about those plays that happen in football. Rollins used to make a lot of those scramble plays, and those are part of football. As guys just got to step up and make plays. I feel like we have the ability to do that. We've done that all year in our big football games between Science Hill, Mo West, DB, Northview. We've just found a way to make plays, and so our guys are really doing a great job of trying to listen to the in-game adjustments. Stepping up, and making plays for us, and it's just it's really good to see our guys do that. At times, if we can clean up a few things, there's still a lot of work to be done, but still not hit our peak at the right time, and still got some plays out there we can still make.
Players play, don't they?
Yep.
All right, back to the offensive side. The first flea flicker you threw, you missed Luke by probably 6 inches. If he catches that, I think we got a different outcome with the football game.
Well, we try to get the crowd behind us coming to our first home game, and we try to get some excitement. We're not totally into a lot of those plays like that. You need a wrinkle here or two, but thought it was going to be a great time. We're up 7-0, get the ball right back. You want to try to get the crowd really into it, and we just kind of missed them there. Then we came back. We had 2 other throws we wanted to hit down the field. Didn't do a great job of protecting the quarterback there. So, just a chance to kind of make some plays and really build some excitement. We missed some opportunities there, but guys continued to play and came back. And Luke had a big second half for us. Stepped up and made a lot of big plays.
Speaking of the adjustments, the line. This week compared to 2 weeks ago with DB, we didn't have the 9 or 10 yard or 9 or 10 5-yard calls. This weekend seemed like you cleaned that up a little bit. We had a couple on defense and maybe 1 on offense, but it seemed like that was a point of emphasis going into this week, the hidden 5 yards playing behind the chains.
Well, we wanted to try to feed Seth and Holzer at time. We got him on the second quarter. The ball's on the 2-yard line. We ran it all the way down the field. We just wanted to get the line going. The second series, we tried to throw it some. We tried to get Rhett moving out of the pocket on a couple plays there, but it's really about the consistency and the continuity of our offensive line to keep them going, to keep them in that same mode to where we can lean on those guys and try to play pretty physical. I thought our O-line really, for the most part, did a really good job in a run game. We're reestablishing the offensive line and the defensive line, and then they had really 2 good defensive ends that really did a great job against us, and I don't know if we're going to play as good as defensive ends as 44 and number 5.
Then you flip over, you talk about the halftime adjustments. You come out defensively, we only hold them to 31 yards total offense the second half. It seemed like Rhett got a little bit more into a better rhythm as far as when the second half come out, because we come out and scored 28 unanswered.
Well, I thought the biggest play of the game was the 3rd down catch by Eli Blevins on 3rd and 7 on the first drive to continue that going. And then, we try to, one of Rhett's best is pushing the ball down the field. We wanted to be able to hit Luke on a deep post there when we got the ball back. So, there's just some things that we still want to do, try to make some plays, and we still try to get the ball out quick at times. And we had a few wrinkles in there where we're trying to, still win on 3rd down. Try to build off the momentum we got against DB, but, having, almost being 75% on 3rd down. That's pretty good for us in those critical moments, and we want to add to that and feel like, hey, we get to 3rd down, we can make some of those plays. But, I think offensively, we've got a number of guys that can step up and make plays for us. I thought Justin Whitehead did a great job as a receiver filling in for Cam. We started the game with Mason Ball at tight end, H-back. We're getting bits and pieces of minutes from him on the offensive end. So we're still a work in progress at times, and I think that, every game we go into, everybody's so accustomed to see our defense just kind of, be what's, leading the Cyclones. And so we really want our offense to kind of, close that gap to where we can be as good as we can be in all 3 phases.
All right, you go back to the DB game, the way that we performed, the amount of energy that it took coming into the first home game. How do you think these kids transition from the big game at Dobbins Bennett, getting that monkey off their back, to coming into playing Northview at home?
Well, I thought our guys were ready. There's no doubt about that. I thought there was a lot of energy and a lot of excitement. I thought our guys were ready to play. I just give Northview credit. They did some things that kind of take some excitement out of you. They held the ball a little bit. They got some first downs. They got a touchdown. They did some things to really kind of not allow us to get off to a great start. So I think anytime we get a great challenge, we're accustomed sometimes when we play other than the non-region games and maybe the big non-conference games that kind of we just think we're just going to blow some of these teams away. But they're a well-coached football team. There's a head coach that's an offensive line guy, so their boxer's really good there, and so give them credit, give our guys credit. Stacy mentioned it. Regardless of the circumstances, regardless of what happens through the course of the game, our guys seem to get unfazed by that. And that's going to be really big for us as we move to the last part of the season.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for last week's recap of our opening home victory against Northview. We come back after these words. We'll preview tonight's contest as Volunteer Falcons come into Citizen Bank Stadium. We'll be back after these words. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Coach Shawn Witten Show. Coach, you've got a Volunteer Falcon team coming in here that's, for lack of a better term, limping. They're offensively, they're struggling a lot on offense. coming in. How do you get this team prepared to face Volunteer coming into tonight?
Well, first, we've had a good opportunity to have fall break this week, and then, we've had some morning practices. We've also picked some extra help. Cujo's really helped us out this week. Coach Witten, Kobe Garland have really done a good job of, trying to add more coaches. The morning practice, we've been trying to get a lot of things done. Appreciate the work by the guys this week. And I think our first 2 days, we really focused on us. We've really focused on finding a way to get better. And then, the last couple of days here, making sure that, we respect our opponent. We still got ways to improve, that we prepare in the right way. And so I don't think it's so much about Volunteer, but it's another opportunity for us to have a home game, kind of finish the season out. And then we know it's about to get really tough in the next couple of weeks.
You've said it before, and Stacy's alluded to it many times. With certain opponents come in, and not knocking the programs, but you're playing against Cyclone football. Is that going to be the case tonight?
Well, I think so. I think Volunteer is going to, they're going to be pretty scrappy. I think they're going to, they're going to compete until we decide we're going to, play our level of football. What you want to see is our guys not to stoop down to their level of football. We want to execute. We want to play at a high level. We want to do a lot of great things. So, we still got a lot of improvements, and it's about us continuing to get better in some small areas. And I think our guys will do that. They've had the right approach. We've done a lot of best against best this week. We've done a lot of trying to, up our physicality and our mentality. If we play against other teams, the way we battle against each other in practice, we get after it pretty good. It should be the way we play. And so, I think that there's a lot of things that are great about our football team, Tony. Just our relentless toughness, the way we are being gritty. We have been, guys have stepped up to make plays. That's what you really want to see. And so there's a lot of things those are sometimes the things that you can't coach. You want to see out of your guys. We're throwing it, but we're not getting a whole lot of yards after the catch, or we're throwing it, but our guys aren't making a play. So seeing Seth back there making the cuts, making the reads, that's what they've got to do. They've got to trust their instinct. They got to rely on their guts, and I think they're doing a pretty dang good job of it.
Yeah, we're constantly looking about the blocking, the wide receivers blocking. Jeriah will go out there and just drive his man, and Leali's doing the same thing. So they're complementing each other very well. Going into tonight's content, what do you want to see offensively? What's the next step that you want to see this Cyclone team to make?
Well, I think we just got to do a really good job of winning. We've done the last couple of weeks. We've done a really good job on third down. We talked about that, but really, first down has got to be our thing. We've got to keep the down distance in our favor. We can't get so far behind the chains. And then, the next part is we got to protect the quarterback a little bit better when we are trying to push the ball down the field. Where, our 6-man protections, our 7-man protections, we got to make sure we protect the red. A lot of times there's just too many, scrambling opportunities or trying to extend the play. We got to give him the time to be able to hit those intermediate routes. I think that's an area we want to see kind of improved tonight.
Let me pick up on that just a little bit. We got used to seeing a quarterback that it wasn't there. He was going to tuck it and run when we had Rollins here for so long. Schlegel's sort of that way. Do you want to try to get him out in space a little deeper, or are you happy with him? Because he seems comfortable in the pocket when he's got the time, because he can really fire.
Well, I think the biggest thing we want to make sure we give him the time. To push the ball down the field. When you're trying sometimes to be a drop back passer, a lot of the routes are coming to you, in breaking routes, middle field routes. Some shallow crossing games, and so you really want to try to protect him so that you can get that ball behind those linebackers, especially on some play action pass. And then that we've done more of moving him a little bit. Early in the year we weren't moving him at all. We're trying to expand and trying to grow, trying to get a better grasp of the offense. Rhett does throw the ball well on the run. He had one where he kind of threw it behind Jeriah, but a lot of our third down throws against DB, a lot of the third down throws Friday against Northview, we were able to execute those. But that really pocket presence of when to step up, when to take out, when to push that ball down the middle of the field. That's an area that's a lot of times is the weakness of the defense is right in that middle, that area between the free safety and the Mike linebacker. on those routes. And so, we want to protect them a little bit better. We feel like we've got, 3 receivers, sometimes 4, sometimes we use the H-back or the running back to help protect. And then obviously with our running back, we try to get them out and pass pros too. So, that was a big play against DB, was just trying to get him out of space. So, we want to just protect him. We feel that if Rhett can have time in the pocket, it can give us advantage because we do have receivers that can hit that intermediate route.
You got a brother that's going to the Hall of Fame right there in the middle of that field,
Yeah.
aren't you? That's where he made his living. Let's talk about a little bit about we all know what kind of receiver Luke Whaley is, but that second half, he really, maybe for the first time this year, we saw those hands. Eli's been doing a great job, and Jariah's really stepped up high pointing, but when Luke went up and got that ball, and he can catch, and we've seen him on the punts, how important is he to your offense?
Well, it's just that he's an integral part. We've tried to do a good job of moving him around a little bit. We're a formation team. We really just came back off that DB games, man. We tried 4 or 5 times to get him the ball, but only ended the game with 1 catch. So that's a missing piece of our offense that we can't allow that to happen no more. So, it constantly was on Coach Turner, Coach Witten, Coach Carter, that anytime Luke had that space, anytime Luke had that press coverage, or anytime they had man-to-man, that we're going to try to take advantage of that, regardless of the down distance or where we're on the field. That's an area where we've got to go to. And so, that's an area that's a big emphasis. You hear it on Saturday and Sunday and sometimes Mondays about play callers have those, how do you got to have your go-to calls, how to get those guys involved. And they're a missing piece of offense that you can't go till there's no reason that it's fourth quarter, Luke hasn't had a touch, or he hasn't had a carry, or whatever it may be. So that's an area where we've got to get him. We wanted to try to get him involved early in the football game.
And finally, there's always a green cloud hanging over this place this time of year when we know they're coming. When you face a team against Volunteer, you're playing that opponent, but you're also playing yourself. At this point in the season, and I don't expect you to give any secrets away, but how much are you adding to the offense, or you're just trying to clean things up and you don't want to put it on tape, or are you constantly adding something that we may see down the road?
Well, a lot transpires offensively. Not a whole lot changes defensively. A lot of times defensively, you're really formation based, lineman assignment type thing. But offensively, we've gone full circle. We've gone around the globe and back. As far as installation, formations, the things that we want to do, the things we work on. But tonight's just really about leaving the field feeling really good about where we are. The areas where, we know we can go to, the areas where we've got to clean up. But it's just a confidence level of really leaving the field knowing that, hey, we're really in a good place. We got an opportunity to grow over the next 2 weeks, but man, like we've got to know that we can hang our hat on these routes and these runs and these plays, and how much are we going to get from the defense side of the ball, like Mason or those guys. So it's just field position becomes critical, not turning over the ball becomes critical, but tonight's just what you really just want to feel good about, man, the progress we've made this week in practice. The things we've worked on as individuals, now it's coming together to team, and you just want to see areas where we've kind of grown. That's the biggest thing. The confidence level tonight when we leave the field just got to be an all-time high, all-time premium level, because you're not going to get another opportunity to do that before you see the matchup. So, it's about we want to polish up some things. We want to be crisp. The communication, all the things you can do, because you're just not going to get another chance to pre-dress rehearsal in before the big matchup.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it. Guarantee you it won't be vanilla tonight. So, Tony and I will be back in just a few minutes with your call of the game as the Elizabethton Cyclones tonight. Second home game of the season, next to the last game of the regular season. So it's an important contest for the Cyclones as they continue their trek for Chattanooga. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors on WBEJ.